Hey everyone, welcome back to Key Lessons for a Dragon Ball Super deck profile. It has been a little while. The last couple sets haven't inspired me too much, but the latest one has enough that last night I went to the store champs for Guff Geelong and won with the Goku Power Pole deck. So this is a deck I have been enjoying a lot, although I was not going to play it last night. I didn't think it would be good enough to win. I was thinking of playing Android 18 instead, but then at the last minute I'm like, I'll just have fun, I'll play Power Pole, and it turned out to be the right choice because I won. Here is the winner alt art Goku. Very nice looking card that, so I'm glad to have that. And yeah, Power Pole Goku did the business for me. So if you don't know what this leader does, unawakened, he's pretty normal, just attack when you draw, and then he can awaken when you have a Son Gohan awakened hidden power under your opponent's leader, and then 2 or more energy. So you can awaken turn 2 usually, as long as you don't brick. And so to awaken, you take a Power Pole from your deck and then draw a card. And then you've awakened, and then Power Poles will be free. They cost 1 less energy, and they only cost 1 energy. And if you have a red Son Goku or Piccolo Z battle card, Goku's in your battle area with the Power Pole under them gain critical. And then when it attacks, draw a card. So let's have a look at the deck, and the crux of the deck, the engine is basically revolves around the thematic kidnapping of Gohan. So I've seen a lot of profiles run this at 2, and I had a very bad time a couple of weeks ago where at the start of the game both of them were in my starting hand after I mulliganed, so that bricked the deck and I had an awful time. So I put it up at 3, and I'm glad I did. One of the games last night, 2 of them were in the life, so I almost bricked there. But let's talk about the matchups we had first. So round 1, I had to play against a green Gohan, the Super Saiyan 2 Cell Saga Gohan, and I started the game pretty well where I had an energy up ready to negate when he played his Vegeta with the critical combo with Trunks. So Vegeta died because my Piccolo reduced his power down to 0, and that was really beneficial in making sure I had a good advantage throughout the whole game. Just avoiding that critical and having that extra body on board was pretty useful. And then round 2, I had to play against the Super Saiyan God Trunks, and this player decided to try and not let me have my engine, so he didn't attack or play a card, so I couldn't put a Gohan under his leader. But then he made a mistake and played his Unison, which did let me put my Gohan under his leader. And then I actually had like the most aggro turn I've ever played with this deck and just absolutely belted him, to be honest. Round 3, I had to play against another green Gohan, and this time it was pretty close. I had a few misplays, and I forgot that his SR would kill my blocker, so instead of negating the attack, I'm like, I'm going to block this, and he just killed it, so that was frustrating. I had to take that double strike. And then he overwhelmed to play Goku Man on a Mission. And fortunately for me, I had the Goku Z battle card that can neg something that comes into play by 10,000. So Man on the Mission got negged down to 10. He still probably could have attacked and just comboed up, but he decided to leave that attack for a little bit later, so he attacked with something else. And then I after imaged and killed Goku Man on a Mission completely, which was life-saving for me because I had barely any combo power in my hand. If he had have hit me with that double strike critical, I wouldn't have been able to defend the last attack because I was on 3 life at that point. So then I went on to win the next turn. So the deck profile, we got 3 Gohans. That way I don't I've got a better chance of actually doing him. So to get the Gohans under your leader, you're going to need Ox King and Chi-Chi. I have 4 copies of the Ox and 3 copies of Chi-Chi. 7 is a good ratio for this because this is another instance of where if you don't start the game with one of these, your engine doesn't get going. So Ox King draws a card, whereas Chi-Chi will search top 5 for Goku or Piccolo with an energy cost of 5 or less. I like Ox better because he draws cards, so I have a better chance of drawing into something that isn't searchable, like my secret rare or extra cards. So the titular card for the deck is the Power Pole. 4 copies, very important. And this card gets placed underneath Goku's to give them a 5k boost, and then it also has an activate main you can use, in which you will KO an opponent's battle card that have equal or less power to the Goku that the Power Pole is under, and then you get to draw a card. So that's pretty sick. So the Goku's in question. I got 4 copies of Enduring Fury. This one just plays for 1 if there's a Gohan under your opponent's leader, and then looks for a Power Pole. Pretty useful if you don't have any Power Poles in your hand, but otherwise he's just a 1 cost 15k beater. But the good Goku is daily training, so this one is good because when there is a Power Pole underneath him, when you attack, he will search top 5 for a Goku or Piccolo with an edge cost of 5 or less, so that's just more draw power. And then turn 3 and onwards, you can play the SR Goku, which is overwhelming power. So he is pretty good because you put a Power Pole under him and attack, and then activate the Power Pole, and then he will restand. So you got to sequence it correctly. Don't waste your Power Pole until you've already attacked, or else you're not getting to get that extra attack in by him. And he also has an on KO. When he's KO'd, draw 1 card and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and that card gets a negative 20,000 power for the turn. So that is a pretty sweet ability that helped me in that last game against the Green Gohan. So that's all the Gokus that you can find from your top 5 searches. But the other thing you can search for is Piccolos, so you're going to want to run a healthy supply of Piccolos. So there's the Piccolo Negate, Prideful Strength. He costs 1 to use if you have a Gohan under your opponent's leader, or your own leader. And when he's played, he will reduce something by 15. So that helped me in the first round. I killed a Vegeta with that. Super Combo is also Piccolo. You want to run this Piccolo even though it's just a basic draw 1 Super Combo because it's searchable. You can play Raditz, but then that's not searchable, so I'd rather have the searchable option than the, in theory, better option. 3 copies of Piccolo Prideful Strength. If there was anything I was going to cut from this deck, it could be this. I could cut it down to 2 or even 0. Think about it, it's pretty good. You can play it for free by returning a Power Pole from a Goku with energy cost of 5 or more back in hand. The problem was I always forgot to use him, so he was, never used in store champs last night, so a shame, but I didn't need him, evidently. Your main big boss for the deck is Goku and Piccolo arch rivals fighting together. So on turn 4, you can play this for 2 energy. And then when you play him, out pops Gohan from your opponent, underneath your opponent's leader. So when Goku and Piccolo are played, they give your leader a 5k boost. And then Gohan's played, and he reduces something 35. So that's pretty good against Green Gohan, because you can kill their big boss, which is 35k. And Gohan is just a 1 hit, and then he's done. He will go back underneath your leader at the end of the turn. This is like a nice little thematic thing where he's kidnapped. He comes out, hits Garlic Jr. once, and then he goes to sleep. Also, when Goku and Piccolo are played, they grab a Piccolo or a Goku from your drop and place it under it. And then you can activate main to take that out from underneath it, put it back in the trash, and restand, so you get that extra attack. You can also, if you have a Power Pole under it and you need to, you can use that to discard as well. It just says to take something from underneath it to restand. So a little bit of a Krillin engine for this deck. These cards aren't incredibly necessary, but they're nice to have. So these ones are a free blocker if you have a Goku with a Power Pole underneath it. So you can just play it for free. That's another card I often forget to actually play, frustratingly enough. And then you got Student Bonds, which is just a little bit of emergency Power Pole grabbing card. So you can discard this to grab a Power Pole from your deck or your drop. Extra little bit of attacks, you've got the Goten promo, so he can only be played once you have 3 energy, but he's played for 1 and you draw a card, and you can also pay that energy, give him the 10k boost and reduce something of your opponents by 20. Pretty nice little double strike that you can get out pretty cheap, and the draw power is pretty sweet as well. And then the secret rare for the deck is Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. So this is an amazing secret rare. I actually was pretty lucky that I was able to play it in all 3 rounds, so it won me the game each time. Although I would say, probably all 3 games I didn't actually need him to end the game. It was just a nice slapped you hard. So you play him and take something out of their hand. You get the hand knowledge, so you get to count how much combo power they had. That was very useful, because otherwise I might have been a little bit in round 2. I was going in for game while I still had 6 life. I'm like, I don't need to go in for game here, but I know how much combo power he has, and I have more, so boom, hit him. The important thing to sequence correctly is on turn 4, play Goku and Piccolo first. Right, so you give your leader that 5k boost for playing this, and then you get that Goku or Piccolo from your drop and put it underneath it. And then when you play Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, so you got to overwhelm to play Vegito. So you want to play this first so you don't miss out on that opportunity to put Goku and Piccolo under it, and then get that extra attack if you need it. And then the other thing is, and I forgot to do this every single game, attack with your leader after you've played these 2. Because I just wasted the power boost that it gave them, but it didn't matter, so that's fine. And then just for some negates, obviously we saw the Piccolos earlier, but in addition, 3 after image, still one of my favourite negates for red. I love being able to take a life. I love that it can effectively shut down 2 attacks if you reduce something that hasn't attacked yet with it. And then testing the opposition, which is just a mainstay in all decks these days, but I never used it last night, so there you go. And so for the Z deck, we have 2 sets of this Goku and Piccolo combo. So you can pay 1 energy for Piccolo if you have a Goku with a Power Pole underneath it, and he Z stacks on top of the Goku. And so the Piccolo is just a blocker, and when it dies or is removed, you can discard a card from your hand to play the Goku out from underneath it. And then the Goku certainly won me the last round. So he gains barrier the turn he's played, and then when your opponent plays a battle card, you can reduce it by 10,000. And he also helps you out with the Power Poles. So Krillin, I've only got 2 copies of him, but Goku can also help me out in this regard. So he has an activate main to discard a card from hand and grab a Power Pole back from your drop. In addition to those, we have the obligatory Rush Attack Vegeta. I never played it, never came up, but what did come up once was the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So I played him in round 2 against the Super Saiyan God Trunks. Before I drew into my secret rare, he'd cleared my board, and I didn't have any Gokus in hand to play, so I played this. Burnt him alive because he was on 4 life. And then I attacked with leader before attacking with him, because I wanted to get him down to 2 life and then attack with the double strike. He negated with petrification, so that just ruined that idea. But my leader did help me draw my secret rare, so that was GG, mate. And that is the deck profile. It's a lot of fun. I don't think my build is crazy different to anyone else's or anything, but I think the ratios is what really helped me. The 3 Gohans and the 7 Chi-Chi and Ox Kings that were very important for me, because all other times I've played for this deck, before I changed those ratios, I would brick once and every now and then. But last night, no bricking, so fantastic there. So, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. If you give it a build and play it, tell me how you go, and if you made any creative changes, let me know. I'm always interested in hearing what other people are doing with their decks. And it has been a while since I've done any Dragon Ball videos, but I do intend to do more. I can share my Android 18 deck list. I've been enjoying that. Like, that's a pretty strong deck. It was almost what I was going to play last night for Store Champs. And in the future, I have been, when I get the cards for it, I'm going to build the yellow flip Goku Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, although everyone's playing Gohan, so I'm not going to come up with anything creative that someone else hasn't already come up with at this point, I don't think. But anyway, stick around, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys later on.